Welcome to the 9642 podcast. This is your host, Mr. Number 9.
And this is The Fool.
This is where me and The Fool give our
Unqualified and unrequested
ramblings on the various issues in the world of sport.
or something like that.
Hello everyone, we are back to our bread and or butter football. We're going to review everything that's happening on the European or continental football.
Yeah.
Looking at our various teams that may or may not be playing in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll also do a quick review of what's happening in the leagues around
Yeah. A bit of a look.
the continent, just to have a bit of a look so we get an idea. So some interesting things happening all over the place. So we'll start at the first league, the UEFA Conference League. At the moment, the top of the table, we have Fiorentina, 2 wins.
Yeah.
It's super early days. They do only play the 6 games in the opening round as well.
Yeah.
So at the moment, Crystal Palace are... We did say we predicted Crystal Palace would finish at the top 24. Currently 1 win, 1 loss. Like I said, I don't think we need to worry too much.
No.
They'll make their way through. Unfortunately, Aberdeen, bottom of the table, 2 losses after they had a miracle League Cup win over Celtic last season.
Yeah.
More to talk about in that particular league.
Yeah.
But I think it's our usual suspect. We see Fiorentina as a team we expected to be doing really well. Rayo Vallecano, 1 win, 1 draw. We were kind of expecting. Strasbourg, your sister club,
Yeah.
1 win, 1 draw as well.
Yeah.
The guys, again, Strasbourg do have an interesting team. They have an English coach with a largely French-speaking team, and which he's kind of put together. It's quite an interesting setup.
Plus, yeah, as you say, a few familiar names for me. See, Chilwell's there by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Sar's there, so there's a few others in there, young and old, that's been shipped off to the child club. So
yeah, it's a bit interesting because Strasbourg is a club that's likely to be in Europe every season. So Chelsea kind of have a second dip if anything happens.
Yeah.
To the main club. So Blueco group, as they call themselves.
Yeah.
Moving on from the UEFA Conference League, we go to the Europa League.
Ooh.
Excuse me. Yeah, we currently 3 games in. The table is... We got Midtjylland at the top, undefeated. Braga, also undefeated, and Lyon, blast from the past, making their way through. Lyon, owned by Ted Dexter, the man who used to own Crystal Palace, who got them into trouble last season, as we remember. That's why Crystal Palace couldn't play in the Europa League, but Lyon are here. They're currently 3rd. And we have obviously we favored Aston Villa. They have won 2 and lost 1. Currently at 10th, I think comfortably going to make their way. The team that's going to be interesting is Nottingham Forest. What are the odds we see Forest win Europa League but also get relegated in the same season?
That would be very hilarious, but yes, somewhat possible. I think they're sitting 17th currently. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. But I think they should be able to make it through to the knockout rounds, and then it's anybody, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting because if they did make it to the Champions League next season by winning the Europa League, it's still very, very hard. Lots of good teams in this competition. The issue is if they're relegated, the money they miss out on from not being in the Premier League, do they make up for it by being in the Champions League?
Well, yeah,
Like, and plus parachute payments and all this other stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
That'd
mean,
be
obviously you don't want to be relegated. Obviously, that would be the best outcome, not be relegated
yeah, yeah,
and win
yeah, yeah. Be in the Champions League
Europa.
and not be relegated is the best world. They say yeah, it's they win this, make their way into the Champions League. That's a lot of money for the championship.
Yeah, yeah, and bottom of the table, another Scottish club, Rangers, 3 losses in a row. Though Celtic are further up in the table, 21st.
Yeah. Also, on the 1-1-1 with 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. So
Yeah, 1-1-1 exactly. Um, I think same as Forest, 1-1-1.
yeah, yeah.
But
Just
we're very early days into this. Nottingham Forest, I think, will get better as the season progresses,
yeah,
especially with Sean Dyche leading them, and we'll see how Celtic do with Martin O'Neill. Interesting how they're like an ex-Celtic manager who was really successful here is coming back, and everybody was expecting Brendan Rodgers, and it turned out to be Martin O'Neill, which is the obviously it shows how unpredictable this season has already been so far.
yeah, exactly.
The last round of games, if the quick overview, match day 3, we had Aston Villa beat Feyenoord away. It's a really good win for them. Basel beat Stuttgart at home. Salzburg losing to Ferencváros of Hungary.
Yeah,
Salzburg going through some trouble, we know, currently. The Red Bull system. Salzburg didn't win the league last season in Austria. First time in 10 years. So there's lots happening in the Red Bull football clubs. Braga 2-0 winning against Serena Zaveda. Fenerbahce beating Stuttgart. How is Stuttgart? Oh, sorry, this is match. Stuttgart playing Basel was match day 2. Sorry,
yeah, yeah.
Fenerbahce playing beat Stuttgart home. Brann beat Rangers 3-0. Go ahead Eagles beating Aston Villa. Their 1 loss so far. Genk brewing with Betis. Steaua Bucharest lost to Bologna. Lyon winning 2-0 against Basel. Celta Vigo 2-1 against Nice. Lost of Ludogorets of Bulgaria, losing to PAOK of Greece. Malmo drawing with Dinamo Zagreb. Feyenoord 3-1 against Panathinaikos. Young Boys getting 3-2 against Ludogorets. Freiburg winning 2-0 against Utrecht. Celtic beating Storm Graz 2-1, their 1 win, and Tel Aviv losing to Midtjylland 3-0. Midtjylland continuing their winning streak.
Yeah.
It is interesting so far. Sorry, there's the rest of the thing. Porto 2-1 against Cervena Zedska, and Feyenoord lost 2-0 to Aston. Sorry, no, that was the match week 2.
Yeah.
There we go. Roma beating Roma beat Victoria Plazen. Lost to Victoria Plazen 1-2, and Nottingham Forest beat Porto 2-0.
Yeah.
It's a good win for Forest over there. So it's once again, I think it's really, this is the weird thing about this Swiss format name. This Swiss format is hard to tell who's in trouble and who's not. Like, you gotta play 8 games. Is 4 wins enough to get you to at least a playoff spot?
I think the 4 wins should be enough to get you a playoff spot, right? That's 50-50, so... And it's most of it, like, like at least a playoff spot, right? Because you're only the bottom 6 that are dropping
Well,
off.
36 is the bottom 10.
Not 10, bottom 10. Yes. So,
Sorry, I think bottom 12 because 24 got
24,
through.
yes. Bottom 12 even. But, like, that's still, yeah, was it 2/3 of the table,
Yeah.
right? That's still a lot. So you would think a 50-50 record should be enough to go through.
Yeah. And then you've got when you win one of the seeded top 8s, that's fine. You get to go to the quarterfinals, but like it's when it's weird to figure out who you're gonna play when you're in like the playoff, the playoffs after, when you're in positions 9 to 24, because like you could end up finishing ninth, but you're playing against Real Madrid,
Yeah.
and like it's one of the things that I think it's gonna emerge if they stick to this format, which I don't mind it, but it'll become like it'll take a bit to get used to how the shape of the season is gonna progress.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's that sort of having a feel for it and where people are at and what's happening and everything. It's just a little bit of getting used to, but I don't mind it. It seems good. It it throws up interesting bits, interesting matchups. You're saying you can have reasonably surprising quarterfinals or round, second round games or whatever, where things are a bit more interesting other than it's probably going to be a cakewalk, or some team surprisingly had a poor performance and now is going to have a harder raw to get through or something. Like, it feels a little bit more equalizing from that. So that if you do have a bad season, like if you have a bad start, you have to have a very bad start, and yeah, it's going to be harder, but you've had a very bad start. Whilst you can sort of have a middling bit and still have a somewhat straightforward route, like that, yeah, didn't make it top 8. I have to go through the playoff bits, but it's still technically technically a doable pathway. You've done enough to get there, but you just have to play an extra game.
It's really difficult to see a team that's from a top 4 league. At least their top 4 teams should get through to the next round. That's 16 teams. That's already. And then you've got probably space for another 8 teams, right, to make up the rest. So if you've got the 2 countries that have legacy spots, and if one of your countries, like England, is a Europa League champion team, like they're gonna do well to qualify and probably get through to the next round. So it's really, it's one of those things where I can see the criticism that it's going to solidify the gap, because all your big teams are just always guaranteed to get through and guaranteed to retain.
That is part of the design, right? That is baked in. It's like top teams are going to top team. That's what they want from this. So there is a little bit of that too.
Yeah. But looking at our final and most important table, the Champions League, top of the table, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, undefeated. Look to argue, I think unquestionably looking like the 2 best teams in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they look like they're both in for a strong season. I think we could almost guarantee these 2 teams are making it to the next round.
Yeah.
As we said earlier. Arsenal. Then we've got PSG and Inter. PSG have lost 1 game. Inter yet to play their 4th. Real Madrid lost to Liverpool earlier today. Liverpool beating them, so they're also on 3 wins.
Yeah.
Another team that looks really like in really good form. Tottenham Hotspur what are you doing here at 7th place?
Also
Rose-
undefeated in the Champions League for Spurs.
Yep, undefeated in the Champions League. Just like Borussia Dortmund, who opened up their campaign with that 4-4 against Juve,
Oh yeah.
and then went on to win their next 2 games. Like, look, I think that game showed Dortmund were like serious,
Yeah.
and they're going to go for it. Manchester City, 9th place. Once again, I think City probably look pretty good in Europe anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Newcastle lost one, but they won their next 2, so once again, another team that should probably make it through to the next round pretty easily. Barcelona, Chelsea, similar situation. They both all Newcastle, Barcelona, Chelsea all have a game in hand. Atletico Madrid. That's where they're, but I still expect Atletico Madrid to be around this sort of position, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're gonna be
Well,
here.
they're on a 2-2 record, right? So that's 50%. That's for me. That's floating around that 16th spot. You might just sneak into the qualifiers top 8. You know, to be seeded, but most likely going to be in the next 8 where you're having to do it hard. So go against seeded teams all the way through.
Yeah. It's gonna be a tougher situation if you're down there. But looking at the bottom end of the table, Ajax starting off with 3 losses in a row.
Yeah.
No Scottish club here, but that's because no Scottish club made it to the Champions League.
Yeah.
So that's that. Leverkusen, unfortunately, 2 draws and no loss.
Yeah.
So there's a few teams from the top 4 leagues that are there in the bottom end, but you'd expect them to do better as the league progresses, like Villarreal especially. They're kind of European special athletic club as well, who are just outside the top 24. But we've got, like, it's hard for me to see, with all due respect, Karabag FK making it to the second round.
No, it's not exactly expected, right? So.
Yeah. Well, looking at their last round of results, we did have a really... It's been all action in the Champions League, like it is every season. Manchester City smashing Villarreal away from home. Like, looking ominous. Everybody is like already crowning Arsenal champions, and I'm just like, oh, look, City, they're still around.
Yeah.
Arsenal
City is still
winning
City.
4-0. Yeah, City's still City. Arsenal winning 4-0 against Atletico Madrid. Great win for them.
Yeah.
Athletic Club getting a win against Karabag, as you would expect. Galatasaray beating Bodo Glimt at home.
Yeah.
Chelsea beating Ajax 5-1
Yeah.
at home. Real... sorry, that was last round. Real...
That's the previous round, yeah.
Juventus.
This is the last completed round, so...
Yeah, the last completed round. Currently, match day, a 4th round is going, so there will be matches tomorrow.
Yeah.
Napoli, Eintracht Frankfurt drew. Arsenal beat Slavia Prague 3-0, so they're continuing their imperious run in Europe.
Yeah.
And to be fair, most teams in Europe that are not like one of those top European teams are going to have a tough time against Arsenal, I think.
Yeah.
Very difficult team to score against, and they basically give them an inch, they take a mile sort of team.
Yeah.
Athletic Madrid winning 3-1 against Union Saint-Gilloise. Liverpool getting the win at Anfield against Real Madrid. Tottenham 4-0 against Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And Olympiacos and PSV drew.
Yeah.
Bayern gets a bloody win despite the red card against PSG, and Juventus drawing with Sporting Lisbon, and Bodo Glimt losing to Monaco.
Yeah. So I mean, big win there by Bayern, right? To keep their undefeated run going.
We were saying this was going to be one of those games, right? Like, that were going to make a big difference in the thing. And like, there's other great games left in the round. I think Karabag. Chelsea have that. Villarreal playing Pafos. I think you would expect Villarreal. Man City, Dortmund. That's going to be a really good game. Newcastle Athletic Club, another good game. Ajax Galatasaray. I think you'd hope Ajax could hold off against Galatasaray at home, but they're in terrible form at the moment. So who knows? Club Brugge, Barcelona. You'd expect Barcelona.
You would.
But wouldn't underestimate Club Brugge. Then we have Benfica, Leverkusen. That's another tight matchup. Leverkusen are in terrible form, so Benfica can sneak in with. So they should win at home. Inter Milan at home to Kairat. You'd expect Inter to take that, especially because they're good form this season again.
And they're at
Marseille,
home and everything, so
yeah. So, who do you like so far in Champions League? Like, it's just hard to look past Bayern Munich right now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's hard to look past Munich and Arsenal at the top there. PSG are looking good, but say that big game Bayern PSG sort of tipped Bayern's way. Not that it matters much because I think PSG still make top 8 and therefore, you know.
Yeah.
It's think likely that any repeat of that won't come until the finals. So. Yeah.
And last season, remember, PSG almost missed out on the top 24. They just made it in 24th place, and then they ended up winning. So there's definitely, you definitely can't write off any team that manages to make it to the next round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the important thing, right? Is making it to the next round. So.
This is the issue right now. Bundesliga seems to be back to being in regular service.
Yeah.
Where Leverkusen's not going to have an undefeated season again, unfortunately. And so Bayern should at some point have the Bundesliga more or less sorted for them.
Yeah.
So they can focus on the Champions League, and like I'm sure Harry Kane will want to.
Yeah.
And he's been in ridiculously good form at the moment. So, but Bayern, this is the thing. Arsenal, despite having a commanding lead right now at the top of the table, we don't expect Arsenal to have an easy run of it. Like, there will be challengers as the season progresses in the Premier League.
Yes.
I guess get that feeling. Like, Arsenal might win, but it's not going to be as easy as everybody seems to think they'll be doing right now, in my opinion.
No.
Ditto with teams like Napoli and Inter. They could go on a run in the Champions League, but they've got Serie A is just so competitive. Like, looking at Serie A now, Napoli top with 22 points, and the next 3 teams all have 21 points.
Yeah. That's Serie A for you, right?
And both Bologna and Juventus on 18th with 5th and 6th respectively. So
that's 4 points
that
behind.
Top 6, there's nothing to separate them.
No.
So it'll be.
I see the biggest surprise on the Serie A table is Fiorentina's down in 20th. So the bottom of the league currently. Was it top of the Conference League, bottom of the Serie A?
Yeah. And it's 10 games in, so it's not like there's nothing happening. They've actually played a decent amount of the season already.
And that's 10 games in for them and no wins in Serie A. So.
Yeah. They're in terrible form, and it's interesting. 3 clubs, former Serie A winners, Genoa, Verona, and Fiorentina, all bottom 3. But look, newly promoted Como making it to 7th.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Interesting, because they're a club with new rich owners who are giving them loads of... I think they're owned by... Their owners are the same people who own Brentford. I can't remember. But Yeah, they're another interesting club who they're apparently going to do things quite differently in Italian football. They can actually own their own stadium and things like that, so they'll actually potentially be more sustainable.
All right.
Than a lot of Italian clubs at the moment. Going away from Serie A, if we look at Bundesliga, this is the reason why we think Bayern Munich are going to be awesome, right? 9 games, 9 wins.
Yeah.
So far, perfect season.
Perfect season. And only 4 goals
Only
against
conceded
as well.
4 goals.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
33 4 against. 9-0-0.
Yeah. Yeah. And as we said, Harry Kane on ridiculous form, already scored 12 goals.
Yeah. Twice as much as the next biggest scorer.
Yeah. It tells you all you need to know about Bayern Munich's dominance this season. Because, like, if you look at it objectively, Leipzig and Dortmund are having good seasons. 20 points from 9 games, 22 points from 9 games is really, really good.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's nothing. They're already, like, more than a game behind Bayern. Which is, I guess, to be expected.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. They're keeping its pace as best they can, right? But yeah, it's still. And Bayern's in this form, it's definitely going to be hard.
100%. And if we move a bit further west to the Spanish League, we've got Real Madrid in similar form. 10 matches played, 10 wins, 1 loss, though that one is against Barcelona in El Clasico, so that will sting.
Yeah, that will sting a lot.
Barcelona currently 25th, Villarreal 23rd, Atletico 22nd. I think we all know how this story ends with La Liga.
Yeah.
As well.
We've seen this story play out.
Yeah. We've seen this arc. We know how it goes. But yeah, if we just to show something different, we've got Hearts currently play 11 matches played, 9 wins, 2 draws, undefeated at the top of the table.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Potentially an undefeated season?
Question mark? Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's halfway through the season, right? Halfway? I know they have a slightly weird format, but
yeah, after the halfway format, they divide the league into 2 different tables. There's like a playoff for relegation and a playoff for promotion, and
But they play each other twice, right? Then they split and do the final bit.
Yeah. It's a weird format, but it's better than their old format where they used to play 4 games each against each other.
Yeah. But it's good, seeing Hearts at top and seeing someone other than a Glasgow team, having one of the Edinburgh teams up there is amazing.
And looking at the top 4, we've got Hibs at 3rd as well, only 5 points behind Celtic. Although obviously Celtic have a game in hand. And Rangers are also all the way back in 15th. And Rangers are not in a good situation right now either.
No.
So,
I mean, they do have that game in hand against over Hibs. They're only behind on goal difference at the moment. But still, you say things aren't going exactly 100% for them.
Yeah. And Scotland is a league where things happen because as it gets colder and colder, weird results start affecting the outcome. Aberdeen was at the bottom of the league, but they've clawed their way back out of... But it's weird because it's not a relegation spot yet because it's only after the halfway point that we know how that's going to work out. Yeah. But we'll keep an eye on Scotland, see, and what does that mean for the wider world of football? Like, Scotland's an interesting place to, because those, at least the 4 big guys like Celtic, Rangers obviously are huge clubs, and then you've got Hibs and Hearts are also pretty big clubs. If they're potentially really worth investing in, because if you manage to get like an overseas player, get the work permit, that works for England as well.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like whether Scotland is a better setup country before you come to England, and like players have played in the Scottish League and done well, like Virgil van Dijk and Victor Wembanyama and other players like them.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely see how that works out. But yeah, the season is shaping up to be in a really interesting position in Europe and in the various leagues. I think other than like obviously Bundesliga, Bayern look imperious in the Bundesliga. Even La Liga will have its surprises come along as the season progresses. Serie A is like as always, you and I always say, the best league in Europe.
Yeah.
To follow. And England is currently going through an actually unpredictable season, even though everybody has kind of anointed the Gunners to be the winners, which I'm like, totally happy for you to jinx it, guys. Go for it.
I'm just happy to watch the season to see how Arsenal bottle it this time. I mean, that's part of the entertainment, right? Arsenal look good.
Yeah,
they'll find a way to lose, and Man City will win again.
Pretty much.
So yeah, season in England's getting quite interesting. Few different things while still being very familiar. Though this whole Liverpool going on, was it a however many game losing streak?
4-game losing streak.
4-game losing streak. Still managing to be third in the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing a Man City, I guess. Like, was it City about this time last year managed to get through 10 games? 10 losses in a row. Across all competitions, so Liverpool just trying to replicate, I guess.
Yeah, interestingly, if Manchester United had managed to beat Nottingham Forest, they would have been third with 19 points, along with City, and the same number of points as City. Both teams just 6 points behind Arsenal, but obviously that was not to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, right? So from Man City in second down to Crystal Palace will take it in 9th. That's 3-point gap, right? 19 points down to 16 points. So that's 7 teams all within a win of each other. Yeah, you got Brighton and Aston Villa only 1 point behind that. Then you start getting a little more gaps to Brentford and Newcastle and Everton and them. And Wolves definitely doing their best to get relegated, or set up the greatest escape ever. We'll see.
It's Wolves. You know how this story ends.
I know, but I'm starting to think this is the year my prediction goes right and they actually get relegated. They're on 2 points.
I guess the stop clock is.
Yeah.
I know, it looks really bad.
Yeah.
But do you remember Bournemouth a few seasons ago when they got back up from being relegated?
Yes, no, We have seen this story before. Wolves normally do it in a less dramatic way, but we've seen this story before many times. So,
Yeah.
Not writing them off completely yet.
Yeah.
And say sort of
something about
Nottingham Forest can stay up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, but I think that's all we've got time for today.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for listening, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Catch you next time.
Well, that is the end. Thanks for listening all the way through.
If you liked what you heard, we have even more. 9642 Discord and a Buy Me a Coffee.
Pretty sure it's Buy Me a Beer.
Oh yeah, buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com.
In both these places, you can talk to us, and we may even listen, especially if you do buy a said beer or coffee. I might still be confused.
Yes, we're easily bribed. All links are in the show notes below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
This is on YouTube.